Raj, CEO and co-founder of FilterPixel, and this is our Smart Photography Live. Today we have a very exciting live, which is especially on the new innovations that are coming every single day into the photography world. We are going to talk about generative AI stuff, which is so cool, but at the same time is so important in the photography businesses today. So we have a special guest today with us, and I'm going to take him on the stage in a bit. But if you are already seeing this live, if you are there right now, I would love to see if you can just drop a hi or just say, hey, we are here, or just mention Filter Pixel, or just let me know if you are there and you can hear me out as we are going to start the live in a couple of minutes. Just let us know in the comments if you can hear me. We're just waiting for a moment to bring people. Okay, perfect. So who we have today with us? We have German Demand, who is not only a photographer, portrait photographer, an amazing educator from Norway, but has always been into this, generative AI stuff. From the very early on, he has been into this, photography world from 20 years. But I was just learning from him that he's also creating courses, amazing content, on different platforms, educational platforms, about new AI, new generative AI, Adobe Firefly, Photoshop, new features, beta features. So this is the right person, to bring in and educate everyone in FilterPixel family, um, about generative AI and the new changes that you have to apply in your business today. So, without waiting further, let's invite German Demen on the stage. Hi, German.
Hello,
How are you?
I'm good. How are
So,
you?
I'm good, and I know like we have very different time zones, and
Yes,
we are having a lot of time zones in this live today. Some people are sitting in US, you are sitting in Norway, if I'm not wrong, right?
that's correct.
And then I'm syncing from India. So are already into 3 to 4 time zones right now. So this live will be recorded, but at the same time, people who are coming in and joining us right now, we would love to hear from you. If you have tried any Adobe Firefly or any generative AI stuff like Photoshop so far, because today we are going to demonstrate you how it works, and especially what we have tried and what Ganman has been teaching throughout in his courses, and would love to see what you have tried and what use cases have you found in your photography business for the same. So let's kick in the session. I will definitely ask Ganman to introduce himself a bit before we take this live further.
Yeah. Well, I'm a photographer in a small town in Norway. It's like 3,000 people living in the town where I live, so it's probably smaller than where you live. And I've been working as a photographer 20 years, also as a teacher. I am also now creating courses for a place called Videocation. It's like an online courses, but in Norwegian though. So it's and but I'm also have my own studio in my town, and yeah, been working as a photographer for 20 years.
That's
So
perfect. And in 20 years, I think you have seen every transition in the photography industry. You might have seen first the film, then DSLR, then mirrorless. Probably you will see some AI stuff cameras in future. But in 20 years of that cycle, how have you seen photography always changing in innovative stuff, and how you keep yourself updated so quickly on the same?
Well, I started photography when I was studying. We were using film and developing film, and when I started working as a teacher, my first teaching job was working in the darkroom, teaching students how to develop film, and so I started my first teaching jobs doing that, and then like digital came more and more, and I kind of always find very interesting with all new technology. So it's um, so I've been a teacher in on like media type courses and stuff like that. So
It's more of a visual courses that you have always been teaching. I think like Adobe Firefly and Photoshop generative stuff are the best fit for your courses, because that suits who you are, that suits you, as a person, because this is what you have been doing all over years. So glad to have you here. And I would directly want to jump in between this fancy, I'll not say fancy stuff. I think I would say something that is new, something that is innovative, something that is changing the entire photography world. And if you are a photographer, and if you are not seeing this or doing this, you are definitely missing out on something. So would love to jump on that quickly, and would love you to spend most of the time of this live showcasing people what exactly is this new stuff that is happening in the photography world, whether it is Adobe Firefly, whether it is Photoshop, and helping people out who are watching this live or probably will watch after the live is over, in terms of how they can implement, or what kind of creative inspirations they can take from there, and implement that into their photography business.
yeah, I created courses in both using Midjourney and using ChatGPT and DALL-E 3 to start with, and the Firefly from Adobe. Uh, I've just I just finished creating a course in that right now, and the new Firefly like integrated into Photoshop just came out last week. So after Adobe Max, and so I have to test it out in the Photoshop beta version. So it's not integrated into the main Photoshop yet, and but it's a lot interesting and cool stuff that is coming out from Adobe now.
Yeah.
So
I completely agree. I have seen that Adobe is taking all the creative aspect of photography business, where they're bringing how you can be more creative as a person, as a photographer, and bringing that value out in your day-to-day workflows. So today, I think most of our focus is going to show some demonstrations on what we can do with Adobe Firefly, what we can do, what we have achieved, what are the new cool things we are seeing these days. Right, so why don't you share your screen, and let's start helping everyone, or interacting with everyone what they are doing.
yeah, I'm gonna take this screen off my screen so I can
Yes, yes, let me know when you're ready, and I will take your screen share on the screen.
let's see this. Share screen.
Yeah, just share the screen and let me know.
Uh, doesn't start yet. Is it? No, it's on the wrong screen.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
no,
Now we are able to see that. Yes, perfect.
yeah, but that was the wrong screen. Stop screen. We try again. Let's see if I
Okay,
can. Uh, okay, now I should be able to. Now it
okay.
should be able to. Is it still on that screen now? Yes.
No, it's I we can see like the your wallpaper coming up. Yeah,
Yes.
perfect. We can see like from
Okay.
here.
Now I have Photoshop. That's Photoshop beta. I'm gonna close Lightroom down, and I'm gonna find Firefly as well. If I can, many things at the same time. Firefly. Here we
Perfect.
have the Adobe Firefly, and
Yeah.
where you can do all the text to image, generative fill, where you can remove clothes, and a lot of those interesting things.
Yeah.
And
I
but
think
now we
like,
also have that in Photoshop, and I can create a new file. And what we have in Photoshop now is that we can actually create an image in the same way as we did with Firefly. So you have the Firefly, all the things when you go to Firefly. This is the Firefly webpage,
uh-huh.
and where we generate images. I'm jumping between pages here, and this is Firefly, where we can create images. And now that also is integrated into Photoshop, where you can write. So we can try and create something.
So whatever we are doing in Firefly is actually somehow coming into the Photoshop, whether it's today or like after some time. Like some of the features are common between these two elements.
Yes. So if I want to create a rocket, it will generate an image. I don't know if I spell it correctly, but
Sometimes
and
it's a bit funny because you write a statement that you want to generate the image from, but then for example like you put a statement and then it misses a particular word in the entire sentence and it just misses it completely, and you feel like,
yeah,
hey, I have written hamburger clearly and the sentence, like, where is the hamburger, right? Like, um this is the words which it is trying to understand and trying to generate something cool out of it.
yeah, it's me spelling wrong. So then we got something completely different. I think this is that's the problem when I'm writing in English and I'm in Norwegian. So it's I think now I got getting a rocket. I have
Okay,
to
let's see if we
check
get
my
a rocket.
spelling. That was yeah, that was
Oh,
the rocket. So this was my first try. I spelled incorrectly, but here I get a rocket. So it's an image, AI image I just created, and we can also use reference images. So if I I can use this where we can upload our own images and use them as reference images, or
yeah.
we can pick from the images they have here. So if I choose this one instead of my own, and I can use that to as a reference image. Now it says this is a reference image, and I will get the rocket in the style of the reference image I had, and it will take its time to create. And so oh, it doesn't look like a rocket, but there we have one.
It's a clip art. Like, I wouldn't say it has done it completely wrong. Like,
No,
but it's kind of a rocket, but then some fancy futuristic rocket, I would say.
yeah. So, but it's different from. Let's see if I can take my back to where do I have my screen here. Um, okay, so the it's different from like the Firefly now is on version 3,
Uh-huh.
which and if you use what's it called when you generative expand and generative fill
The
in
generative
Photoshop.
fill inside Photoshop.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's what you can use in Photoshop, and they use version 1, I think, from um, Firefly, Firefly version 1. So in the new beta version, they use version 3, if I'm not mistaken. I think it is. So it's a big difference, and the quality is much better now. And we also have like a structure reference. I
Yes.
showed you a video previously about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can show you that one.
So what I'm trying to understand is, you can generate, cool stuff, and then probably you have taken the rocket that you created by sharing your screen. That was pretty cool. But then, how does that get implemented into a day to day workflow, or into the photography business in general? Like, can we take that rocket, generate it, and then edit it in our own way, and then put it into our work? Like, or are there some barriers which doesn't allow us from privacy perspective or something, to put
Uh,
put these kind of stuff in our work?
let's see. Now I put it in Photoshop. That's not what I put it in Photoshop. No, that's not what I'm going to do. I'm gonna take it down now.
I'm just checking. Just give me a minute. Yes, I
Yeah.
can see that.
No.
Yes, yes, I can see that. You can just put the Lightroom on that screen.
Yeah. Okay. Now,
Yeah.
can you see this?
Yes,
Uh,
yes. It's that
yeah.
structural reference you were talking about.
Yeah, that's the structure reference I was talking about, where Firefly can read the structure of the building, and create, when I create something new, and I would get an image that uses the same structure as the main image. So if I want to create a new image, and I I I want them to be in one specific way, and then I can use the structure of the image. I can use like a drawing if I want, in a special way, or like what I did here is created from a building, from an image.
Yeah, so let's take an example of this, a structural reference, and I want to use it in my own work, in my own art. Is there any privacy problems when we are using this? Do we have to declare that it's an AI generated image? How does that work? Into the equation of generative AI in general when it comes to photography.
I was going to take you back at now. How do I take back my image there? Stop screen. There. Never used this program, Studio, which the streaming
No,
program
you just
before.
need
So,
to tell me when I have to take you off, the screen off. You don't need to stop screen sharing.
oh, okay. I thought I had to do that.
Yeah, so
So
so whenever I work with generative AI and something specific, I always see that it's a generative stuff, right? Like, it's not
yes,
something that is proprietary to me. Like, it is something that is generated by an AI algorithm. So how does that come into the policies? Because you're sitting in Norway, probably it is region specific, but I just want to understand, when we are generating, it's not our own work, kind of like,
yeah,
like.
that's like, if I use other like image generators. Usually, you have to. Well, they teach their image generators from all the images all over the world, kind of. But Adobe is using their own stock images to train uh, the image generator, so that the images created, you can actually use them in your business, and commercially, which is like could be very important for a
Yeah.
business if you're going to
So,
create something. And you also have generative like text to vector in Illustrator as well, so you can
yeah,
actually
yeah, now we
use
have
the
that.
and create the logos and all that. And it's very important that you are allowed to use it, and that you have the copyright to use it. So, and that's the big advantage of using Adobe, which they own the images that the image generator has been trained on.
Correct, correct. And I think
Mm.
like this is very crucial to point out because most of the questions that we get around AI and generative AI in general are related to whether I'm able to use that whatever I am creating in my own work or not, and whether the policies allow me to use it or not. And because there is so much deep fake that is generated all across the world today, people are a bit scared in terms of if these tools are really for the good, and I believe in AI obviously, and I understand the creative aspect of it, but just ask that question because I really wanted to highlight that this is pretty normal to take this image, edit it, and then share it with anyone you want, which is probably you can share it with your friends or share it anywhere, but a bit cautious on the term of that AI is there to help you out and not to worry you about what is going to happen. So generative AI in general is taking over the world, and we all know it. And when you are talking about the fill, the generative fill that is there in Photoshop, it's so helpful in terms of whenever you do any kind of stuff, and I think like it has saved a lot of hours for people who are spending it in front of the computer just to do that manually before, right? So it is there for the good. It's not scary at all. um, have you ever got into some difficult situations using these commands that you write, the prompts that you have written? Is there a learning that you would like to share? Because a lot of people keep writing prompts and then they end up into generating weird stuff, and they're like, this is not what I wanted.
Well, you can see I got it wrong by spelling it incorrectly. So it's that's one of the things. So you have know how to spell correctly. Then and then you also, if I use like a reference image, uh, so I've tried using reference images I found online to help me create my images, and then maybe the image was very known, and Adobe could know that this, because I have to be allowed to use the images I use as a reference image. And I didn't have that, so I just picked the image from online, and then I get a message that I can't use that. So you have to. But if you want to create an image or put a hat on a person or something like that, you can actually just create a hat in Photoshop with generative fill, and use that as a reference image as well. So, and I tried. I had a woman with a gray dress. Just selected the dress, and then I went into Adobe Stock, and found a dress with flowers on, and used that as a reference image, and just wrote a flowery dress, and then I got back so the woman I had a picture of, she suddenly had a flowery dress in the same pattern as the stock image. So it's kind of cool that you can like use
Wow.
that as
So
uh,
there is a use case that I found very interesting, right? Like generally we do a lot of storyboarding. Like when we go for a shoot, we want to prepare ourselves on what we are going to shoot,
yes.
right? Um, have you found any special use cases of generative AI, especially Adobe Firefly, in planning a photo shoot or figuring out what is going to be your story today?
Yeah, but you can, like, when they create images in like AI images, they are usually very, the colors and the composition is often very good, and so you can get a lot of good and great ideas out of the images you create, and use that as a like, yeah, as a story, like like an idea to create your images. And instead of like taking images from other photographers, and use that as your ideas, and like in uh,
There
kind
is
of
a
feel more
special
of your own.
there's a special use case I found myself, right? I was going to chat GPT and I was asking, I want to plan this photo shoot. I was describing my persona, like I was trying to say, hey, I'm going to shoot this kind of a shoot today. This is going to be my theme. I want the person to dress like this is my new idea. And then ChatGPT was throwing ideas on exactly how the shoot should look like. But again,
Mm.
ChatGPT is not visual, it's very textual information. So if I take every those 4 or 5 statements, turn into a particular, just ask ChatGPT to turn into a kind of a caption or something in short, which I can fetch into Adobe Firefly, and can generate my storyboard from that, and then
Yeah,
put my storyboards.
but in ChatGPT you also have Dolly 3, which
Yeah.
so I've used ChatGPT, and then I described I described a photographer, and I wanted the photographer to have this and this style. Just gave him a name, give him a name, and he takes photos in this way, and his inspirations are this and these photographers, and so kind of described the photographer I wanted, and then I could describe a model, and describe the background and how she looked, and then I could give her a name, and then I can ask create an image by Max, like gave him that name, the photographer, instead of describing the photographer. So and take a picture of Maria in a yellow dress walking down the street, and then you get that style in from DALL-E 3 uh, right in ChatGPT, and and next time you can ask put her on a horse, and then or so you don't need to describe everything uh, all the way in on every description of the image, so it can just give him a name, and then you have his style, and then find another photographer you want to create
uh,
and just give them a name. So and so that's very helpful when you use ChatGPT to help you create images.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So ChatGPT has a direct integration with DALI 3, and then that helps you out definitely to generate stuff. And I think this is on the same lines of what Adobe Firefly is trying to achieve. A
yeah,
bit artistic, not like a photorealistic image, but more of an artistic touch to that image. And
yeah,
then it's very different from other tools who are trying to generate photorealistic image. Uh, you know, rather than like a mid journey, right? Like very photorealistic. But when it comes
yeah,
to Adobe Firefly, DALI 3, they are more of towards the artistic touch of the photo, and I think that is a bit different use case. If you want to use for inspiration, and you want to generate an image that you are trying to shoot, and you want to be a bit creative over the edge, I think like you have to go with Adobe Firefly kind of stuff. Put the prompt, get the photo that you're trying to generate at the shoot today. What do you think?
yeah. But also you can in Photoshop you can you have a person you're taking a picture of, and you want to put angel wings on her, or you want to change the background, uh, put the person in the street of Paris, and or anything like that. So you don't need to like work with the well, and then you can also use structure reference. So if you have an image you want to use this style, you can use the structure reference to put the person in. And I've also tried. I had an image of a yeah a woman standing next to a fence, and I used a structure reference and put her in like a fantasy world with butterflies and everything
Wow.
around. And and
Wow.
then and then I could you got an image, but didn't get her face exactly. So I just used them in Photoshop and put them in layers each other, and just
So,
put her face back.
do you
And
have
the
an
structure
example?
was exactly like
So
what
just
say?
to interrupt, like, do you have an example that we can actually see, like what exactly is the potential that something that you have applied to your own image, and then probably if we can inspire people on what kind of creativity is possible today with photos when it comes to generative AI, only in Photoshop. Like we're not talking about going outside into a new software, probably in only Photoshop, right? Like just putting a command and then see the wings or something like that. If you can show an example of that.
Yeah, okay. Let's see if I can share my screen again.
Yeah.
Uh, share your screen now. Okay,
Yeah, we are here.
and then I have to open Photoshop. the Photoshop beta, and I have to find an image where I had. Let's see.
While Diamond is finding the image, if you have any questions regarding Adobe Firefly in general or how generative AI will be helpful to your business, you can just drop us, a question right now, and we will be replying you on the live. If you will watch the recording after the live is over, just write your question, while you're watching the recording, and somebody from the team will take care of that as well.
So this is one of my images. And I asked her if I could use the image. So better
Okay.
to have a
Yeah,
permission
yeah.
from the model.
I was going to
So
ask that actually.
yeah. So if I this was something I've tried earlier where I can put in. I need to spell it correctly. Flock of bird. I was thinking of putting in. Yeah, it should be correctly. I can't misspell everything I write. So if I have an image with a background, I want to put something interesting in the back.
Uh-huh.
Can
Come on. It's like
it's
when we are
so
generating while
slow.
generating. Yeah, yeah. I'll try to see that.
Oh, now it's
Oh
okay. We
wow.
got
Oh, I got it.
and
Wow.
we get three different options. I like the first one.
Yes, yes. I think like
Yeah,
it's very good composition.
yeah.
And it.
And then we also have because the image when you get uh, the first the first images you get the quality isn't that good, so you have to go in and upscale, which they have this tiny little button on the image where you can upscale the image, so the quality gets better. So before you export them out, so it's kind of nice to, good thing to
I
remember.
think like what I'm learning today is not only it makes you more creative, but somehow it is helping you out to figure out your own story of the image. Like like when you shot that image, you might be having something in mind, the way you want to compose it.
Yeah,
Like the idea behind the image to shoot it in this way, right? And that creativity aspect, Firefly or Photoshop generative AI is trying to build that creativity aspect quickly into the photo. The vision of the photo now is easy to achieve.
yeah. Let's see if I can create. I gotta find a reference image for the structure, and I can upload an image. I'm gonna use. I have some stock images from Adobe. That's easy to use because then I know I'm not doing anything wrong. So and
So
then we
are we
get
going to see that? Are we going to see that in Firefly right now?
yes, because it's not in Photoshop yet. The
Okay.
structure reference. So
Okay.
if I have what's a ballerina, like you can superhero in red clock looking over river or something. Yeah, and then you get suggestions
Wow.
so you
Now
can
I get
just
it.
uh, put them, and then you have the structure here. And if I put it on, I need to use which I'm gonna use landscape, and I'm gonna use the structure up to 100%. So it uses using the same structure, and I'm gonna show you which image I'm using. So that would help.
So what do you mean by the structure as 100%? What exactly was that 100% that you specified?
Yeah, that means that uh, it uses the structure of the image because it doesn't use only like an idea of the image. I just need to
Uh-huh.
find my the image I used.
So is it like you know if we reduce the if you reduce that number from 100, it's
That's
going
the
to
stock
you.
image I used.
So this one is changed to what you are showing on the screen.
Yes, and then you can see like the foot has been changed to. So here we have the structure. So if I wanted to lay them on top of each other in Photoshop, the structure would be like this hand would be on the same place as this hand.
Yes.
So the structure would be the same. So,
Interesting. Interesting.
but I haven't found that in Photoshop yet.
But we
So
can create it in Adobe Firefly and then can export and put it
yes,
into Photoshop, right?
yes, that's what we can do, and then I can if I download this image and I put that into Photoshop. Now where did I put it? I
Yeah.
can put
So the idea is, while Adobe is not putting every feature of the Firefly into Photoshop, we still can go to Firefly, generate our own creativity, can bring that up into Photoshop, and put another creativity level over the top of it to fulfill our vision that we want from particular
yeah.
image at the time of the shoot when we actually shot it. Yeah. Now I
Now
like
you
that. Yeah.
now you can see they're on top of each other,
Yes.
and
Yes.
when if I use like select subject. Now I am on the wrong. Yeah, if I take uh, select, it doesn't work. Yeah, I can put a mask on it,
Ah. So
a
the
wrong mask.
wrong mask. The background needs.
Yeah, something like this.
So basically, the hero background that you really wanted,
Yes,
um, you know, that flap that you really wanted, that was the idea,
yeah. Of
to
course, you
bring
have to
it to
work.
that.
Yeah, got to work a little more with it than this, of course. But you can see the outline here is it's almost the same. Maybe the size
All right.
isn't all correct, but that's the that's how I used it
Yeah,
anyway.
that's brilliant. I mean, so
So
I'm planning
how
it
do I?
in this way, right? Like, I'm planning it in this way. So we imagined a photo that we want to create. Like we already know the type of composition we are looking for when we are going for a shoot. So we plan a mood board or we plan a storyboard regarding the same using Adobe Firefly. So now we know like this is what we are trying to achieve. Then
Mm,
we go for a shoot and we shoot raw images, and these photos are just like something that we have imagined that we will change it one day to our compositions. We come back from a shoot, we put it into Photoshop, and then to fulfill our vision that what we want to achieve with the mood board or with the storyboard, we start with Adobe Firefly prompts or we start with Photoshop prompts and generate another image over the top of it, and then we merge them over top of each other to achieve our final image that we want as a creative image. Have I got it correct?
yeah, I would guess so. And you can if you take like I've seen uh, people do like creating like product photos. If you take a picture of a perfume bottle on a white floor or white table and just use Photoshop and put like sand or water or something like that, and then it will look like the bottle was shot inside with like all the props you need with the sand, and so it's very easy to get the job done like that way. And much faster than to get all the sand and water.
So one of the questions that I really wanted to ask, because we are less on time, like probably we'll be wrapping up
Yep.
in few minutes. Um, Creativity is a part of our job as photographers. This is
Yeah.
something very crucial if we want to sustain into our business. This is something that we need every single day. It's a part of our life. It's a part of our body. Um, but creativity also needs a lot of time, right? Like it needs a lot of work. You have to really focused on thinking a photo from day one, and you have to envision it at the end of the day. How do you get that much time into a day to day uh, you know role? Like what exactly, or would you like to suggest anyone, like what exactly is the secret sauce of saving time so that you can put that back into the creativity?
Yeah, like getting the ideas, you mean,
Yeah,
to create well,
not only
well,
the ideas but also in terms of saving yourself enough time in your work so that you can sit and then figure out the creativity aspects of your business. Because what I understand from it, what we have shown today to people, is itself a time taking process, not like that time taking that it was used to be, but the time goes into thinking ideas, the time goes
yes,
into
that's
figuring out the vision.
well, using a lot of time and look at other people's jobs as well. That's also a way to get inspiration from other photographers. So that's one way to use the time. So actually, sitting with Instagram and other looking at YouTube photo like videos from creatives that show how to do it. Because, well, I'm lucky enough to have. I need to learn how to use this because I'm creating courses in it. So best way to learn anything is to create a course or to
Teach
teach.
everyone. Teach everyone.
Yeah, best way to learn is to teach. So that's why I had to sit down and learn all this stuff. And because if you're gonna sit, it's easier to do what you already are used to do all the time instead of learning the new quicker way to do things. So it's so, that's probably why many people don't get the time to sit down and learn it and just use the old techniques. So,
Yeah,
but
I agree. I agree. I think like the point you start teaching a concept, whether you are an expert or not into that field, whether it is very new to you, the day you
mm,
learn something and you go out and you start teaching it to everyone, that day you start learning again. Like
yeah,
it's something that inspires you to go back and prepare yourself very well so that you come again to the person and teach him again and something new in better way, right? So learning, if you want to learn something quicker or better, teaching
teach
it
it
to
to
a
others.
person, teach it to
Yeah,
others.
start teaching, then you'll learn it. That's that's one way you could put it. Yeah. So
Cool. And I think like this was a very helpful session in terms of just to giving a quick brief about these new generative AI technologies, whether they are present inside Photoshop, or then there is an outer world of possibilities to explore with Adobe Firefly in general, where I think Adobe is putting most efforts and bringing first the things to the Firefly space and later doing it to the Photoshop space. So
yeah,
that's how I see it. Like they bring things quicker into Firefly, and then they take some things out of that, put it into Photoshop as a feature which people can use into their day-to-day work. I think like if you are not doing it today, like people might be saying here, like it's too early to jump into Firefly, it's too early to jump into any AI kind of a stuff. But
yeah,
if you're not doing today, uh, after a year, it might be too late because this is growing fast.
yeah. Well, the things I've showed you now, it's not in the normal Photoshop yet, though. It's in beta, so it's you have time to start learning, I guess. It's,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
none of us are experts in this. It came out last week, so it's
yeah. Sure. Sure. It's
uh,
it's kind of new. It's kind of something cool, new, something that would be putting people ahead if they start today, and
yeah,
if they want to be dominate, if they want to dominate the field of AI into their photography business, they have to quickly jump into these concepts, learn them quickly, and then figure out how much value they can provide to their clients by either introducing new services in their businesses, by providing more creative photos, or increasing the amount of value for their clients.
Yeah, I really want to find out how can I use this in my business, because I, like you came out last week. I haven't used it in my business yet. So in like, so how can we, yeah, what's the word for it? Like, well, use it for
Yeah, something that
so
that was introduced last week by Adobe is very new, and probably they also are kind of trying it right now. But I think like the best way to put it forward is keep learning, keep an eye over what's coming, keep an eye over what's new, right? Grab it as it comes, and just learn it as quickly as possible. Teach it to five
yeah.
more people, right? So that they also learn it. And after a while, there will be a demand. There will be a demand where people start asking you to, fulfill a trend that is going on Instagram, and for that you are going to need this.
Yeah, well, it's new AI news like every single week. There's like a big new thing coming from AI, and like ChatGPT is like, what is 1 year, something like that. So it's a very new technology, and it's growing so fast. So
It's
we
growing
just
so
have
fast.
to, yeah, so we just have to keep our eyes open and try and learn it. So
Okay, I think it is very helpful. Today we are already, approximately an hour over here. So, and we can keep talking, but this is not going to end. This is the craziest topic, which has already a lot of buzz into the photography industry. And
yeah.
as we are moving forward, as we are moving to our next months in 2024, new things like ChatGPT 5, or new things like FilterPixel new updates
Yeah,
are
that
going to.
excited to see what more news you guys come with in FilterPix. It's like a great tool and helps so much time to like save so much time. Great product.
Yeah, well,
So
that there is some crazy stuff going on for sure. We will have a new session, soon, on specifically covering product updates. But I think like the most important part to take from the session, like which people who are listening to this should take, is don't get scared of what's coming new in the market. Just go, try it, learn it, teach it to five more people so that you have the
yes.
knowledge of it. And once you start teaching to the other five, this new AI, this cool AI,
Mm.
and when it will become the norm, you will be the best educator in the industry, and you will be the one dominating in your own competitive markets. So uh, at this note, I would like to thank German for joining us in this amazing session, and helping us with all the thoughts and whatever he has shared in terms of insights and knowledge, which help us to at least push us, motivates us to go and check out what's new, what's trending, what's coming into Photoshop Beta next, what's coming into Adobe Firefly next, and grasp that knowledge. At least I believe, like, after seeing this session, you will go and check what we have talked about, and you will learn something new, and you will share that learning with five more people. So thank you so much, Germant. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
joining. And I'll be taking you off the stage now, and we'll be giving 2 more minutes to the audience.
Okay.
So that was Garmin Demon, and it was a great session to see Garmin talking about what exactly is generative AI and what's new coming in Photoshop Beta, inspired from Adobe Firefly, obviously. So if you have seen Adobe Firefly so far, and if you have seen generative AI, generative fill so far, this session is going to help you in figuring out new concepts like structural reference, which we talked about, or going to Adobe Photoshop, taking inspiration from Firefly and taking those photos into Photoshop again and writing prompts to take your creativity to next level. But on the other hand, if you have not if you don't have time to try this new creativity stuff, you should look for tools that can help you in productivizing your workflows, save you time so that you can get time back for your creativity. Stay tuned for filter pixel updates. Stay tuned for how we are increasing your productivity for next few sessions. For now, thank you so much for joining. Bye.